Hey guys, what's up? It's Stephanie. I have another video today. And the topic of the video today is going to be about what mistakes you shouldn't do on your personal statement. I have been reading some of the personal statements that some of you guys have been sending to me via my email. I should also say I've also proofread over my own sister. I'm the oldest one. I have two younger sisters. The middle one, she wants to become a physician assistant also, so she's applying to PA school this year. And she just finished writing her personal statement, and I just proofread it a week ago. So she doesn't watch my videos anyway, so she probably won't know I'm talking about her. But she also had the same mistake that I saw in the majority of the personal statements that I proofread. So I said, hey, why don't I just make a video about this? Just to tell you guys about what mistakes not to make when writing your personal statement, because you want it as pristine as you can, because like I've said before, it's going to be one of the most important pieces of paper that you're going to write in your entire life, because it's going to get you your ticket in to an interview. So it's really important to make sure it is perfect and pristine and just top notch. Alright guys, so I'll be talking about that in this video, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. Alright, so the errors that I saw, I know one of them that I saw very, very commonly is that when reading the personal statement, it was stated what you're going to do as a PA. So throughout the personal statement, you're just stating that once I become a PA, I'm going to do this, that, etc. I'm going to work with underserved populations. I'm going to provide free services, etc. So this is fine to include in your personal statement, but I don't think that your entire personal statement should be about what you're going to do as a future PA. You can include it. In my own personal statement, I did include it, but it was really a small amount. It was probably like a few sentences, and it was towards the end. I didn't talk about it all throughout my personal statement. Instead, what I advise is that throughout your personal statement, to make sure, of course, when you have your introduction, to start with either, I would say, a quote that you have that you think is really important for you, that defines you as an individual or motivates you to become a physician assistant. Or in my case, I did the quote. In my sister's case, she started with a story, a personal story that she had about a patient that made an impact on her and why she decided to become a physician assistant. So of course, start with your grabber that's going to grab the reader's attention. And then from there, in your personal statement, you're going to be talking about what you have done to become a physician assistant, or what you have done to want to become a physician assistant. So for example, your patient care experience, your healthcare experience. Also, I talked about how I was introduced into the PA career. Also, talk about your experiences. For example, if you did any shadowing, if you shadowed any physician assistants, what this experience did for you that motivated you to become more PA. If you had any obstacles you had to overcome when studying during your undergraduate years. For example, mine was the fact that I had to work two jobs in order to pay for my tuition, and I still attended school. So how this helped me become or prepare me for PA school was that I gave me time management skills. Also, I talked about my research, how it gave me critical thinking skills, and this is going to help me for PA school. So throughout your personal statement, make sure that you talk about what has prepared you to become a physician assistant. Of course, you already list that in your application, but elaborate more on what you think is important. So, for example, if you did some community service with underserved populations, how did this make you want to work as a PA in the future with underserved populations? For me, I did some community service for a dental clinic in downtown San Antonio that worked with the majority of patients that didn't have insurance, some of the homeless. So I was able to talk a little bit more about this in my personal statement, saying how this experience wanted me to be able to work more with underserved patients, being that I enjoyed doing this, being that I translated for some of the patients since the majority of the dentists that provided the free services or dental students did not speak Spanish. So I talked about how I really liked working with Hispanic populations, being able to communicate with them in a language where they understood more than in English when they didn't understand what the provider was trying to inform them about their health. So, um, like I said, throughout your personal statement, just make sure you choose here and there things that you think have prepared you to become a better physician assistant, or that you think that will prepare you to be successful in PA school, versus rather than talking about this is what I'm going to do once I'm a PA, etc. So that's what the admission committee wants to see, is just basically your experience. Just elaborate what has prepared you to become a better physician assistant, what has prepared you to choose the physician assistant career, what obstacles you've had to overcome to be able to pursue PA as a career. So talk about this throughout your personal statement, and then in your conclusion is when you can summarize everything, what you think is the main points, and just put it all in a complete, I would just say, put a ribbon around the gift, around the present, and just state that because of these experiences as a physician assistant, I want to work with underserved areas. I want to work with Hispanic communities. The obstacles that I have overcome have made me want to pursue my goals no matter what. Also, from my experiences, I've learned so many skills, like critical thinking skills. I've learned time management skills, etc. So make sure that you include that in conclusion. So once again, start with an attention grabber, that you grab the admissions committee's attention, whether it's a quote, whether it's a story, a personal story about your personal life, also maybe a story about a patient, and throughout your personal statement, talk about things or obstacles that you've had to overcome that will make you want to become, or have made you want to become, a physician assistant, and how you've been able to overcome these obstacles and how they will prepare you for PA school, skills you've learned, whether it was through research, whether it was through shadowing, etc. So just elaborate a little bit more about things that you think are important, that have shaped you as an individual, and that you think have shaped you to become a better physician assistant. And like I said, once you get to that conclusion, summarize all that and then state in the conclusion that with these skills in the future, you're going to become a better physician who's going to work with underserved areas, whether if that's your goal, or a better physician assistant who is going to work in several clinical settings, etc., or rural areas, etc. So just make sure you put that in your conclusion. Another mistake that I made the first time I applied is that my personal statement was a sob story, and the admissions committee don't want to hear that. If you've had an obstacle that you've had to overcome, you can mention it, but don't make your personal statement all about it. So you can mention it, very minimalize it. That's what I did, but don't make your entire personal statement about it, because admissions committees don't want to read a sob story. If it is a sad story, just make sure that you do twist it into a positive way. So if it is the sob case, I probably mentioned this before. One of the individuals I work with who is in PA school now, he had a stutter when he spoke. So he briefly mentioned it, but then he was able to twist it around and talk about how it has helped him want to pursue the physician assistant career, and how this is going to help him become a better student, and how he was able to overcome this obstacle to be able to communicate with patients, with other coworkers, etc. So you can include that if it's an obstacle you've had. Just don't make your, like I said, your personal statement all about it. Make sure you turn it into a positive way, and how you've been able to overcome this and how it's been able to make you a better individual. So these are my tips, the mistakes I made, and then some of the mistakes that I read from some of the personal statements. If you have a personal statement, you want me to look over it, feel free to send it to me. I'll try to be as thorough as possible in reading it. I want you guys to get into PA school, so I always make sure that the personal statement is pristine. Alright guys, if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions for me, I have my email below. Just make sure to shoot me an email. Also my Instagram, you can follow me on Instagram or send me a message through Instagram, whichever is easier for you, or like I said, comment below and I'll get back to you guys soon as possible. Thank you for watching my videos, and thank you so much for all the fantastic comments you guys have been leaving in the comment section. It makes me really, really happy. My goal is for you guys to get into PA school. I was in your guys' shoes just last year, so I really know how it feels. Don't lose that motivation. I know it's hard sometimes to stay motivated. I know after the second time applying, I told myself, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm going to apply another year again. But it's worth it once you get in. It's really worth it once you get that acceptance letter, and it's just, you get this amazing feeling thinking that the past years that I've been in school, that I was sweating outside during research during the hot summer days, trying to look at the mosquitoes, getting bitten all over my body all the time, that it was all worth it for just that acceptance letter into PA school. So don't lose that motivation. If you guys don't get in, keep applying, keep adding more to your application. Just be positive, guys, okay? Alright guys, I'll talk to you guys soon.